Hello, my name is Jack Klieger. I'm the president and CEO of the Museum of Jewish Heritage, a living memorial to the Holocaust. I want to welcome you to the 22nd annual Fanya Gottesfeld Heller Conference for Educators. I speak for the museum's board of trustees, its staff, its volunteers, and its community of Holocaust survivors as we remember our friend Fanya Gottesfeld Heller of blessed memory. Fanya was a survivor, a philanthropist, and an author who went through the pain of recounting her own experiences in order to teach others. This is an incredible gift to every student and every educator that she encountered. We all learned from Fanya's spirited dedication to Holocaust education and Jewish learning. I would like to highlight Mrs. Heller's memoir for children, Hidden, a true story of the Holocaust. Mrs. Heller documented her remarkable story so that people of all ages could learn from it. The museum has been honored to offer the annual Fanya Gottesfeld Heller Conference for Educators since 1999. Every year, this conference brings together world-renowned scholars to address groundbreaking issues in Holocaust studies. We are so pleased to be able to offer this conference in her memory today. We miss Fanya Gottesfeld Heller dearly, and we are honored to remember her with her family, some of whom are among the audience today. We hope that it is some comfort to them to be among so many teachers whose lives Fanya Heller touched, and to know that through these teachers, her story will reach thousands of students. At this time, I'd like to invite Elizabeth Edelstein, VP for Education, to begin the program. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Jack. It's my honor to present this year's Fanya Gottesfeld Heller Award for Excellence in Holocaust Education. The award for 2022 goes to Ms. Lisa Berke. Ms. Berke is an English language arts teacher in Brooklyn, New York. She's taught a Holocaust literature course at Edward R. Murrow High School for nearly 10 years, and she created a human rights literature course as well. The museum is very pleased every year to welcome Ms. Berke and her students when they tour the exhibitions and stay to hear testimony from a Holocaust survivor. Thank you, Lisa, for all you do for Holocaust education. Your work merits recognition with this year's Fanya Gottesfeld Heller Award for Excellence.
Thank you so much. My name is Lisa Berke, and I've been teaching Holocaust literature at Edward R. Murrow High School for nearly 10 years. The story of my course is like many stories of the Holocaust, passed down from generation to generation. It was gifted to me by a beloved colleague, and I embraced it for a multitude of reasons. 1, my love of literature. 2, my own grandfather's survival. And lastly, my deep-rooted belief that the lessons of the Holocaust must be taught. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents for their unwavering support and unconditional love, for raising me to be curious and committed to my religion and the history that comes along with it. I also want to thank my husband, not only for his support, but for entertaining our children long enough for me to do this. And thank you to my Edward R. Murrow High School family for not only allowing me to teach Holocaust literature, but to expand the course to include other human rights violations. I thank the Heller family for this humbling honor. Fanya's support as both a trustee and a speaker made her an inspiration to us all. As an educator, she committed her life to these lessons. The impact of the countless hours she spent speaking about her experiences cannot be measured. I extend my deepest thanks to those at the Museum of Jewish Heritage for all their extraordinary efforts to ensure the lessons of the Holocaust continue to be taught. The need to educate adolescents about the Holocaust will never change. My teachings keep me in the past, and yet it is the present that demands it. Be it the rise in anti-Semitic attacks across the country, the fears stirred by anti-immigration policies at the federal level, or the recent news of the banning of books deemed to dwell on racism, the Holocaust lessons remain vital. I grew up knowing that both my grandfathers fled Nazi persecution in Eastern Europe. My paternal grandfather, while in a labor camp, told the story of how he and the other men were told to stand in a line. The guards then counted off and shot every 10th prisoner. I often wondered what his number was. I wondered if he thought about it too. But whatever the number, doesn't matter. All I know is that his escape meant my existence, a reality never lost on me. I am here because of the sacrifices of my ancestors. I was a little girl when I read Anne Frank's diary. It was so raw, so heartbreakingly honest. I could have been Anne in dozens of ways. It wasn't long after that I read Elie Wiesel's Night. The haunting tale of his experience in Auschwitz is now a part of my curriculum. And since then, I've read dozens more, like Fanya's. The story reminds us all of what it means to be human and why we must always help one another. As she said, we cannot be bystanders. Hers and so many stories of survivors have become key to my teaching. We have to keep sharing the stories of the Holocaust. The memoirs of those who have lived through that dark moment in history has become more important as the world loses more survivors. As educators, I believe in the power of the memoir to help our students personally connect to the Holocaust and develop empathy in the process. I'm often taken back to my first year of teaching. We were reading Night, and the lesson focused on the death marches. A young man, often late and half asleep, was alert that day. He sat up and took note. And when I paused for reflection, he just blurted out, "Miss, I can't relate. This morning, my mom got me out of bed. She gave me breakfast. I had a warm shower. I had clothes. I was okay. I don't know what any of this is like." Now, I use his words every year. I don't expect or hope my students to ever know what it's like. But I do hope that, like him, they take note long enough to ensure it is not forgotten. Holocaust education cannot be the same everywhere, but it must exist. Yet there are states that do not require it. We must demand they do. It is my hope that schools across the country will grow programs like the one here at the museum, that they too will know support of families like the Hellers who will make it their mission to educate about the Holocaust. Nothing has been as powerful for my students as hearing from survivors and taking field trips to the museum. Holocaust education must fit the changing landscape, and it must focus on answering important questions about why genocides occur. We cannot steer away from talking about race, and we must continue to bring the past into the present. And lastly, I dedicate this award to all my students. Year after year, it is their questions and curiosity that motivate me to teach this course. It is their interest that gives me hope for the future. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.